Hi, my name is Bailey Hilton, and I will be doing my informative speech on how magazines ruin a perspective of teenage self. Fat, ugly, short, and obese. In today's world, all of these simple words mean the complete opposite of what most consider beautiful. Walking through high school or middle school hallways, on any given day, these degrading words are used towards oneself and towards others. Most teenagers are constantly comparing themselves to one another and judging one another. So why do people do this? And why are teens one of the main targets for these derogatory terms? Magazines expose these photoshopped pictures of celebrities, therefore convincing people that they cannot live up to these in looks. That being said, countless people all over the world are starving themselves in order to fit into this category of perfection. However, there are certain ads that are trying to portray this idea of the real body. In order to successfully do this, they show unmodified pictures of average-looking women. These types of magazines are trying to convince you that no matter how your body looks, it is beautiful. Magazines definitely skew a teenage perspective of his or her self-image. These magazines have countless different ways of going upon doing this, from the color and size of their headlines to the articles and pictures that are placed inside. When producers begin to create their trailer for their movie, their main focus is to grab the attention of the audience. In order to do this, they put all the most appealing clips from their movie into the trailer. In many cases, when people go and actually see the movie isn't generally as good as expected because all of the funniest, scariest, and most jaw-dropping clips are already the ones that were seen previously in the trailer. If you look at this magazine, the National Enquirer, this right here shows the most important headlines, and they're much bigger and a lot brighter, whereas the less important headlines are a lot smaller and almost hidden. Magazine companies do this in order to get people to open up their magazines, which is honestly just a great way of advertising. Generally, there are people who actually read the magazine cover to cover, but there are also people who just like to flip through the magazine and look at the pictures. Generally, but not always, these people are teenagers. When being constantly exposed to weight loss programs and these perfect women, teenagers are going to end up feeling self-conscious. Typically, if teenagers were to actually read the content of the magazine rather than just drooling over the pictures, they would feel less self-conscious. By just gazing at the picture, it's only making them feel worse. Most people are guilty of looking at a picture and comparing themselves to the supposedly flawless man or woman in the photo. But not everyone takes Photoshop into consideration. With modern technology, there are so many different ways to reach that perfect, unattainable look, such as airbrushing or filters. According to an article written by Laura Berman, the number of people suffering from eating disorders in the U.S. has doubled in the last 5 years. Before all of social media, was this idea of the perfect body so stressed on every member in society? Magazines such as Victoria's Secret, 17, and ads such as Victoria's Secret are definitely addressed towards the female audience. But since both genders are constantly exposed to this, it creates a vicious cycle of unrealistic expectations. Most females feel as though they must mimic the body shape, skin complexion, and actions of these models in order to be considered sexy and attractive to males. According to an article, there has been a plethora of research to indicate that women are negatively affected by constant exposure to models that fulfill the unrealistic idea of beauty. Men, too, see these models and begin to think that this is the only look to pursue. Although there are men who are interested in a more slim female, there are also men who aren't as interested in looks. These expectations, led on by the sexual ads in magazine, not only ruin self-image but also ruin relationships. If someone is relying on their partner or their friend or their family member to make them feel beautiful, chances are they are going to be disappointed. Today, with the pressure from media, it is almost impossible for one to feel content in their own skin. Since everyone in today's world is used to seeing these perfectly slim females, when a change comes along, everyone's drawn to it because it's something out of the ordinary. When Dove launched its Real Beauty ad, it quickly became one of the most talked about success stories, according to Nina Berger. Whether this attention they were getting was good or bad, it's hard to say. Women were definitely instantly drawn to this because it was a way for the stress and pressure from these other ads and magazines to be lifted off of their shoulders. One of Dove's first ways of advertising looked like this. They would post a picture of an average-looking woman on a billboard with two differently labeled check marks such as big or beautiful. People could text in their answers, and eventually percentages would show up next to the check boxes. These percentages definitely showed how corrupt society truly is. After seeing all these billboards, people wanted to get more involved with this campaign, but the more they found out about this campaign, the more contradicting they found it to be. Dove is owned by Unilever, which also owns the very sexually marketed Axe. Although Axe sells these intimacy products and is all about getting dirty, I don't know if it's something to judge Dove by, because not a lot of people even know that Dove and Axe are even remotely related. Another one of the main flaws in Dove's campaign is the products it sells. The models in all of Dove's campaigns are all different sizes and different shapes, but they all have flawless skin complexion. Dove sells products in hopes to improve skin complexion, which still provokes altering true beauty. Men and women should be convinced that their beauty comes from their own personality rather than the countless number of beauty products that are on their bathroom counter. Magazines, along with the rest of social media, have an impact on every move we make on a day-to-day basis. Most of the time that impact is negative, but there are also some positive impacts that are usually kept on the down low. Every magazine is so precise when it comes to the blueprint of its mind games. As long as society keeps giving these magazines something to thrive off of, people will never stop judging one another and never stop degrading each other. Attempts to make people see true beauty will never be a reality in this world, considering all of the social media that only portrays what they want people to think is beautiful. People are the only ones who can convince themselves of their own beauty as well as the beauty of others who surround them.